Well, joining us now is Benedict Rogers, founder and chief executive of Hong Kong Watch. He's just come from a rally outside Downing Street. Benedict, we have talked many times about this. It's an incredibly worrying development, but there's very little that the international community can do apart from issue condemnatory words.
Well, I disagree with that. I certainly, where I agree with you is that condemnatory words are not enough. And I agree with Lisa Nandy. And I think there is more that could be done. And I think now, I've said this for some time, we've gone beyond the point where it was needed. But now it is definitely needed to have targeted sanctions against both individuals in the Hong Kong and Beijing governments and entities associated with them that are responsible for the dismantling of Hong Kong's freedoms.
Now, I don't know if you're still welcome in Hong Kong or whether you have to stay away, but I've been following your tweets all throughout this, and every day there is this is obviously a major development, but every day you've got examples of things that should not be done in Hong Kong under the terms of the joint agreement. But, China just seems to ignore the fact that they've signed an agreement.
Well, I think that's right. And I think one of the reasons they're ignoring the agreement is that there have so far been no consequences for their actions. And the longer we fail to meet their actions without any meaningful consequences, the more they'll go on doing this in Hong Kong. But also they'll then be emboldened, if they get away with this with impunity, to do more against Taiwan and ultimately our own freedoms.
But this is one of those situations where Britain has a strong voice internationally, but it is something that needs to have concerted international action, isn't it? And you listen to the words of the man who's likely to be or possibly be the next German Chancellor, Armin Laschet, effectively saying that we should really be cozying up to Russia and China, and that all of this condemnation all the time is just not good for international relations. Now, when you hear the putative Chancellor of a nation like Germany saying that, you think, well, the EU's never going to really come into the kind of policy that Britain would like it to.
Well, definitely his comments are extremely concerning, especially as they come so soon after we thought some progress was being made with the G7, with President Biden clearly both continuing the tough approach that President Trump took, but trying to extend it to a more multilateral level. And some countries waking up to that and coming alongside that, Australia, the UK to some extent. But yeah, his comments and the potential for Germany's position to worsen under his leadership if he's elected is very worrying.
I've no idea how you voted in the Brexit referendum, and you have no need to tell me, but is this one of those things where you think, well, actually, if Britain was still in the EU, it could have a much stronger voice on foreign policy and try and persuade countries like Germany that, well, it can understand you want better relations, but you can't just let these things go by?
I think there are advantages and disadvantages to Brexit on this issue. Yes, it's true, if we were still in the EU, we would be a voice, and some of the countries in the EU who are more like-minded as us on this tell us they miss the UK's presence. On the other hand, my understanding is we wouldn't have been able to offer the BNO offer, which is an incredibly courageous immigration offer to Hong Kongers, if we were still in the EU. So, and also there are other things we can do unilaterally, such as sanctions, that we don't have to wait for other member states to come with us on. So I think we can still influence the EU from outside, support countries that share our outlook on this, and put pressure on Germany to strengthen its position.
Well, you do some fantastic work, and if people want to follow you on social media, what's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is just my name, Benedict Rogers.
And your website, Hong Kong Watch?
HongKongWatch.org.
Well, I would encourage everyone to have a look. I'm sure we can talk longer about this on another occasion. Thank you very much for joining us. That's Benedict Rogers from Hong Kong Watch.